And let's all look at page 23. The title of this chapter is The Universe is Created. So what miracle do you think we're going to be talking about in this chapter? Aaron? Creation. Creation. God creating the earth. Well, before we begin, let's see. Let's start with, well, let's see. This is so every chapter, starting now, there is a proclamation. That is something that by the end of the lesson, by the end of the chapter, we need to be able to understand this. And the proclamation for this chapter, for chapter 3, is God created everything to share his goodness and love. Why did God create everything? Zadie?
To share his goodness and love.
How did you know that?
Because you just said it.
Because I just said it. That is the proclamation. I see what you were going to say, but let's hold off on that. So we actually have no new vocabulary for this lesson.
That's weird.
No new, what did I say, new vocabulary, or did I say material?
No new vocabulary.
Okay, that's what I meant to say. But I think I saw the word material at the same time and then couldn't remember what I said. So we actually have no new vocab for this lesson, for this chapter.
That's weird.
But you may still have a fill-in-the-blank section on your homework. On your test. That's because there will be words that we may see over and over and over again, like creation. Okay, so let's look at this blue box at the top of page 23. This is something that a former pope has said about what we're going to learn. I'm going to read these because they are a little bit difficult. First of all, they probably were not originally said in English. They were probably originally said in Latin or Italian. I can see it if I hold it up. So the English is a little bit harder to read. Everybody, please make sure that you're sitting up and you are listening. And let's listen to what one of our former popes said about the universe being created. My dear friends, God's creation is one and it is good. The concerns for nonviolence, sustainable development, justice and peace, and care for our environment are of vital importance for humanity. They cannot, however, be understood apart from a profound reflection upon the innate dignity of every human life from conception to natural death, a dignity conferred by God himself and thus inviolable. And that is a message of the Holy Father, Pope Benedict XVI, to the young people of the world on the occasion of the 23rd World Youth Day 2008. So basically what Pope Benedict is saying here is that because it is God's creation, we have to take care of the earth. It is our duty to take care of the earth because God created it. And can he make sure that the earth stays 100% safe and healthy and all of that other stuff? Zadie?
No.
Why? Why can't God make sure that the earth stays good for us? What is the problem? Zari?
Because there's not always good in the world.
Why? What do human beings have that means we don't always choose the right thing? Kingston? Specifically, which one of those things? Which one of those things is what helps us to choose or what allows us to choose? That helps us to think. A will. We have free will. We are allowed to choose, to do, to say, to feel however we want. God does not make us act in a certain way. If God made us act in a certain way, well then yes, he could keep the world perfect for us. But since he gave us the free will to choose to love him, that also means we can choose to not love him or his creation. What Pope Benedict is also saying is that we have to take care of humans. We have to take care of the earth because God created it, but we also have to take care of humans because God created them. That means from when they are born until they die. We have to make sure that they are kept safe, happy, and healthy. Okay, so in this lesson, what are we going to learn? Well, we're going to discuss how God created the world, why he created the world, how we are different from other parts of God's creation, and how all things on the earth, all the material things that God has created are gifts to us. God's creation was to give us a gift. So we need to take care of those gifts. Trees, plants, flowers, animals, those are all gifts from God to us. If somebody gives you a gift, are you just going to throw it on the ground and break it right in front of them? But God's all around. So anytime we don't take care of the earth or animals or plants or other people, we are breaking that gift right in front of God. So, let's look at this concept of faith. This is the really important thing that we need to learn from this lesson. Read us the question. What is that question for the concept of faith? Carla?
Why did God create everything?
Why did God create everything? I think it's all the way up, so. Well, Carla, why did God create everything?
God created everything to share his goodness and love.
His goodness and love. God created everything to share his goodness and love. When somebody gives you a gift, do you feel like it was good? If you get a gift from somebody, is that a good thing? Does it show that that person loves you? Even if it's just a friend, I mean, they're showing love for you. You can tell me. Yes. Somebody who doesn't like you probably isn't going to give you a gift. But somebody who does like you, who loves you, who wants to show love to you, will give you a gift. Okay, so we have to remember, did God have to create the earth? You can show me. No. Did God have to make it a beautiful place? Did God have to give us the gifts of beautiful flowers and cute little fuzzy animals and majestic mountains and all of that? Did he have to make it a beautiful place to be? Somewhere where there's good things to look everywhere we go, or good things to eat, or good things to play with? No, he didn't have to. God created the world and everything in it to share his goodness and love. He wanted us to see that he is good. He wanted us to share in what he knew was possible. So in the last chapter, we learned that God created angels in whose image? Whose image did God create angels in? Kingston? I cannot understand a word you just said. That he created the angels in his own image, which means they have what two things that we also have? Zari?
A mind.
A mind.
To think.
To think. Good.
And a will to choose.
And a will to choose. Good. But what do angels not have that we do have? Aaron? Bodies. Good. So, think about the moon. Think about the moon. Is that the moon? What is that? Earth. Look at that picture of Earth. And then think about the moon. Do they look the same? What does Earth have that the moon doesn't have? Zadie? Like looking at the picture. What can you see on Earth that you can't see when you look at pictures of the moon?
The moon is gray, and then when you look at Earth, there's different colors.
Why? What did the different colors represent? What is when you look at a picture of the Earth and you see blue? What do we have that the moon doesn't have?
Water.
Water. What about when you see the green or brownish colors? What do we have that the moon doesn't have? Smith?
Land.
Land, including, well, the Earth does have land, but what do we have on our land that the moon does not? Smith? That make it green.
Grass and trees.
Plants. Good. What else do you see in this picture of the Earth that the moon does not have? Carla?
Moons.
Do you see a moon in the picture of the earth?
Oh, not moons. I mean, clouds.
Clouds, very good. Even though we think of clouds as being like, oh, it's a cloudy, dreary day, sometimes isn't a cloudy day exactly what you're in the mood for? I know sometimes it's what I'm in the mood for. Please think about this instead of just answering the way you think I want you to answer. Think about it. Don't you just like a rainy day every once in a while? It feels kind of nice. Sometimes you don't, but I know every once in a while I like a rainy day. Sometimes a rainy day can be really pretty too because of the way the colors of the things on land look different under the gray clouds. Does the moon have things like weather? Also, without rain, what would we not have? Ethan? Without rain, what would we not have? Well, we wouldn't have plants. We wouldn't have water. Aaron? Oceans. But what's the really beautiful thing that comes after a rainbow? I just said it. Sorry.
Rainbow.
Rain. A rainbow. So if the moon has no clouds, which means there's no weather, there's no rain, there's no nothing, can they have things like rainbows and plants and oceans and things like that? No. Think about what the moon looks like. It's very gray, like Zadie said. Do we see like a lot of different things on the surface of the earth, or is it just kind of flat? Maybe not flat, like there may be some craters and everything here and there, but there's really nothing to give it anything. There's no trees. We don't see anything, no clouds, no nothing. Well, maybe we can imagine that that's what the earth looked like before God created the plants, trees, flowers, and animals. So does that mean before God even started his creation? No, because what was there before God started creating the earth? Zari? What was there before God started to create the earth and everything on it? Kingston, put it in your...
There was really nothing.
There was nothing. Nothing at all. But remember, God created light, and then he created darkness, and then he created the earth before he created flowers and plants and animals and people. So maybe between, the earth looked a little bit more like the moon. Did he have to keep going after he created land and water? Not really. He didn't have to. But he wanted us to enjoy his gift. So he created the animals and the plants and everything else that makes our world beautiful and makes the moon kind of interesting to look at for about 2 minutes. Okay, well, that's really all we have for today. We'll keep going on Friday. I told you this is a short lesson because we don't have any, it's a short introductory lesson because we don't have any vocabulary.
Do you get to read Holmes?
Maybe. Yes, Zadie.
And another thing is the moon doesn't have oxygen.
The moon does not have oxygen. Nope, because it doesn't have what? Kingston? Plants.
Trees.
Plants. Okay,